We are on week 2. And don't worry if you didn't do week 1, each thing is made to stand alone. We are looking at how to realistically manifest. A huge, I'm going to call it a misconception, just to be nice about it. But a huge misconception is that unicorns shit rainbows and blessings will just fall into your hands. And that is amazing and beautiful and powerful, and also not how it normally happens. Santa doesn't always come down the chimney to give you a pretty little present. How are you manifesting in a way that's actually effective and realistic? And when I say realistic, I don't mean that you're meant to lower your standards or make your dreams smaller. You're simply meant to come at all of your intuitive stuff from an intuitive and logical way, from a spiritual and practical way. These are not separate. They are together. They hold hands. They're best friends. It is fabulous. Let them hold hands. A huge part of manifesting for the next year is going to be structuring yourself for success, understanding what is sustainable and what causes burnout, being able to really look at yourself in a critical way that involves gentle curiosity, as opposed to the unrealistic way that a lot of people view things. Now, a huge thing, I'm going to say huge a lot today. I feel like that's the word that I'm going to be using. A huge thing that I want to talk about is the difference between manifesting and a New Year's resolution. And now I'm not throwing shade, I'm throwing a little shade at New Year's resolutions. I just want it to be, you can do this anytime during the year. You can do this anytime during your life. You can change and pivot and alter. And New Year's resolutions have not only a habit of like not happening and not coming true, and we get rid of them by the end of Q1, but also they're usually not sustainable because our eyes are too big for our stomach. Manifesting is not that way. Manifesting is being aligned with your values and your intuition to meet yourself where you're at, to propel yourself forward. And so we're going to do this by learning how to plan ahead, mapping out intuitively what systems and timelines work for you so that you can actually expand. This is where strategy and energy meet. This is where your vision becomes execution. The first thing that we are going to do, and there are about 4 steps. The first thing that we are going to do is your timeline. What timeline actually works for you? What timeline is realistic? What timeline has worked in the past? What timeline is sustainable? So first, we're going to do a realistic timeline that has been proven by your past growth and accomplishments so that you have that information already. So these are milestones. What timeline is realistic for you to hit milestones? Is it once a year? Twice a year? Quarterly? Some people it's monthly. I'm not going to say I'm jealous. I'm just going to say, what's it like to be God's favorite, to hit a milestone every freaking month? So I want you really to think about what milestones you can meet. And from those milestones, how often are you able to sustain and take steps? So we're just looking at timeline. So I want you to look at your milestones and how long it takes you to meet them. Personally, I meet them every 6 months. So I only hit a milestone twice a year. And a milestone, remember, is big. It's big, it's huge, it's fabulous. And then once you've figured out your milestones, again, from past experience, so you're not setting a new goal of like, I'm going to meet one every month. No, what has proven to be effective in the past? Use the information you have to make yourself successful in the future. Once you know your milestones, how often is it sustainable and healthy to take steps forward? Is it quarterly, monthly, weekly? Is there a daily routine that's needed? This is not something where we want to fizzle out in 3 months. like it's some, again, New Year's resolution. This is not, I'm going to lose 20 pounds in January by going to the gym every day. No, you're not. None of us have. And the few people who have blessings, blessings to you and your determination and your motivation and your resilience. But the vast majority of us, no. So, what is sustainable? What is realistic? What works in you, in your life, in your timeline? Those are the things you have to keep in mind. So, we're doing timeline, step one. Step two, manifestations and intentions mean absolutely nothing without actions and plans. You can manifest, you can say, I am loved. I manifest love. I love myself. But if you don't take any steps towards that, such as if you want to find love, maybe leave your house or join online dating. If you want to love yourself, looking in the mirror and truly accepting yourself, and possibly going to therapy, there are ways that you need to participate in your manifestation. Manifestation is a participation sport. Anyone who says otherwise has a rich, very, very rich sugar daddy. Like, there is no way to manifest your goals in your dream life, in your dream business, without actually participating in your own life. So now that we have the timeline, now that we understand that steps need to be taken and you need to participate, plug in the goals. Plug the goals into the timeline. So you're going to start with the milestones. So again, for me, that's every 6 months. So it's like, all right, what needs to happen in this 6 month period of time for me to meet that milestone at the end? And what you want to do is put measurable action steps that are at a sustainable pace. So if you can check in with yourself once a month on a 6 month milestone, fabulous. If you're the type of person who needs to check in every week, fabulous. And what you're doing is making sure that you're still on track with your timeline and seeing if anything needs to pivot, because let's be honest, some things happen and we just can't foresee it. It needs to be sustainable. So you need to understand what pace you go at and how you can do that. Another thing is measurable, because we want all the happy drugs. We want all the happy brain drugs during this time. We don't want it to be just spiritual and just intuition, which is great and wonderful, but it is so much more effective when it's matched with practicality. What is measurable? If it's just like, this feels right, that's awesome, but how do you measure that? If it is, let's use going to the gym, because that's what's coming up in my mind to use. Is it how many days a week do you go to the gym? Is it how many reps or sets? Is it the amount of weight? Is it the amount of time you spend on the treadmill? Do you see how all of those are numbers and facts that are measurable as opposed to a feeling? The reason we want measurable steps to move forward is because we can see them, and then our brain gives us happy chemicals, like dopamine, like checking something off on a list that makes us feel accomplished. That will feed our motivation and allow us to push forward. And motivation isn't the end all be all. You still have to have determination and grit and all that fabulous stuff. But it'd be nice if motivation was just sprinkled on the top like a little bit of fairy dust, wouldn't it? It'd be fabulous. It'd be fabulous. So have sustainable, measurable steps forward. That's step two. Step three. Oh my God, have you ever heard the phrase, make plans and God laughs? Let's be honest, we've all made plans and then just heard a giggle from up above, either from God or our spirit guides. And they're just like, yeah, tell me how that goes. That's cute. Look at that one. It's cute. Look at them do that. That's a lot of what manifesting is. We make these grand plans and then the universe is like, really? That is okay, because you can't plan for everything that could go wrong. But you can be realistic about it. I want you to look at your whole year, and your milestones and the measurable steps and the timeline. Look at all of it. What could go wrong? What could be a hurdle or a challenge that's actually foreseeable? What is going to cockblock your epic year? Remember that forewarned is forearmed. Now, I want to be very clear. This is not an Evel Knievel jump to worst case scenario. This is not the fast pass to anxiety. This is simply logically looking at what happens that may come up, that usually comes up, that you need to work on. So, is there a busy time of year that you need to prepare for? Is there a vacation this year? Is there a time of year that you always get the flu? Is there family drama around the holidays? Think of the shit that inevitably hits the fan every year because it's happened before. Remember, use the past to help you plan for the future. And if it hasn't happened in the past, but it's inevitable and logically going to happen this year, that counts too. And what I mean by that is like, oh, I didn't take a vacation last year, so I can't plan for the vacation this year. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Logically, it will be a part. So be aware of that. And so all you're going to do is understand that these things will come up. And I want to remind everyone that you can pause the audio and the visual. Pause in between the steps. We are currently on step 3. I do not expect you to sprint through these things, but I also cannot sit here in this awkward silence waiting. I will give you 5 minutes to do this next step. No, just pause the video and do the step. So be aware of what hurdles are going to come up because of the past or because they're logically going to happen. Final step, step 4. How are you going to overcome these hurdles? What plans and safeguards can you put in place now to help yourself manifest and create the future that you want? Being fully aware that you cannot plan for everything. I'm not telling you to plan for everything. I am telling you that if you know shit is going to hit the fan in January or June, step to the side of the fan. Because if you know that things are going to get very difficult and very challenging at a certain point in the year, and you see the fan, and you know that poo's going to be thrown at the fan, and you still stand in front of the fan as you see poo flown, and it hits you in the face, that's a you thing. All you have to do is step to the side of the fan. It doesn't need to be huge things that you're overcoming. It doesn't need to be a huge elaborate plan like some Hollywood movie. It just needs to work for you. Are you going to front load your work on the same month before you take a vacation so that you don't fall behind? Are you going to hire extra help during your busy season so that the tasks are always manageable? Are you going to load up on supplements as if your life and business depend on it during flu season? That's what I'm going to do. Give this some really hard thought. How are you going to really problem solve these hurdles that are foreseeable that will block your manifesting and intuition? How can you take care of yourself? And it can be the same hurdle every single year. I get sick once a year around the same time, hence the supplements. It can also be different hurdles depending upon what your goals are. You can meet new hurdles like a slow season or Q4 being hectic because you're trying to close everything out. That's also valid. It can also be small inconveniences or huge setbacks. 1,000 cuts of death is real. If you have just 100 inconveniences that happen in the same month, it can derail your life and your business. It is so difficult to come back from 100 different directions of clusterfuck. And so if you know that these little inconveniences are going to happen, set yourself up for success and handle them now before they come up. And the huge setbacks, put in full problem solving safeguards to ensure that you can still move forward with your manifesting. Be aware that these things happen. And either way, if you know it's coming, prepare and overcome. Prepare and overcome. Being able to truly align with your values and your life's purpose and plan ahead so that hurdles and hardships are not going to derail is so epic. And it is a part of manifesting that is overlooked by so many. And it is a part of manifesting that millionaires and billionaires and CEOs and pro athletes all utilize. I have never met one that does not problem solve like this. And this is how they're able to jump forward ahead of everyone else because they stepped to the side of the fan before shit hit the fan. And it is a fabulous, fabulous practice that I believe we should all participate in. So be aware of your timeline, measurable and manageable steps, making that action plan, seeing the hurdles and being able to overcome the hurdles. That is all you have to do. That is all you have to do to make this step, this part of your journey easier. And I want it to be easy for you. You want it to be easy for you. It's going to be an amazing year, and I cannot wait to hear about it.